Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's Diamond Training. My name's Craig Schultz. I'll be your host of today's event, and today I wanted to really focus in on events, and no better time to focus on an event straight after the Mediterranean cruise. And the real reason I want to focus on this session, events based, is all built around the momentum part of the year. And when I say momentum part of the year, really from that April, May is really the starting point of the biggest growth throughout the year, right through to that September, October period before it starts tapering off again towards the end of the year. So we're hitting this really heavy phase at the moment of growth, and it's also built around a lot of our events. So we just had our international rewards trip, and we're going to talk about that. Also, our biggest feature event of the year, Gold Coast Conference, and leading into our international convention in Orlando. And the most important thing about Orlando is being able to win your way there. So we're going to touch on that there. But I have to say that cruise last week, I'm sure for the fellow J Fire family and all the Jeunesse family around the world that are on the call today, they would have been very envious of what 200 plus of the Australians, and more so a bigger crowd in general, where over 8,000 people won the trip to Mediterranean cruise, and it's spread out over 4 weeks. That's how many people were actually qualifying. It's really important to understand that too, that qualifying for a trip like this is such an incredible thing. But most people think, that's I'm not at that level yet. Well, when you see that 8,300 people have actually qualified and won that trip, it's quite easy to see that it's very achievable, very possible. And, if it wasn't you this year, make sure you have that in your goals moving forward to be on every incentive trip moving forward. And it's really a performance based thing where it's based on enrollments. There's usually three forms of qualifications to get there, and it's really important to make sure that you have a focus in your business, not just for yourself personally, but right throughout your organization. You have a focus as soon as that is announced at the Orlando International Convention where it's going to be and what the qualifications are. That's how you can turbocharge your business, driving numbers and driving team members to be able to go on that next international event. So it's really important. We talk about throughout our training the events promotion is the major strategy for you to build your business. If you go into a convention, you build belief, you build the ability to learn, you see the opportunity in a whole different light. You see it's a lot bigger than just an individual. A lot of people think because it's home business, it's small, it's just individual, is this really a real business? But Jeunesse obviously collectively is a $1 billion brand last year. It's just set up a new incredible headquarters where they'll be doing tours at the Orlando convention, offices all around the world, distributors all around the world, and an industry and opportunity that's really turbocharging at the moment. So most importantly, in 2017, you really need to be on that next trip. And I always talk about our trips as first class rewards. Last year, our international rewards trip was to Dubai, and that was an incredible experience. Again, we had over 150 of the Australian J-Fire family reach that qualification and attend that trip. This year it was over 200 people went on a Mediterranean cruise. So there are a lot of people in the Jeunesse family from Australia qualifying for these trips, but they are trips of a lifetime. Jeunesse doesn't skimp on any or cut any corners on rewarding the leadership and the field leadership. I've been now on the Emerald trip to Hawaii, which, at the time was one of the first qualifying trips, rewards trips that I'd ever been on, and it was incredible experience. A diamond trip to Tahiti again, a trip of a lifetime. In a couple of weeks' time, it's back off to Switzerland for another awards trip with Jeunesse. Again, another lifetime memorable experience. But the other one's Dubai and Mediterranean cruise, which can be won by absolutely anyone starting the business right through to the leadership, have been some of the best and most amazing experiences that I've ever had. So I really want to make that heavy point that you put a focus in a rewards trip that's covered for, in a lot of instances, fully, but also, it's scaled. So the trip could be won and then you can win flight vouchers. So make sure that you are at least on the trip, and then try and reduce your cost by winning the $250,000, $500,000, $2,000 rewards flight vouchers as well, which to make it fully all inclusive. So that's the first part of the presentation that I really wanted to touch on, because it is really an amazing experience to be living the Jeunesse lifestyle, and make sure that you understand that this is an opportunity for everyone. So we're going to move on now to the next major event. It's a feature event of Australia, our national convention, and this event here will be our biggest event in terms of glitz and glamour. I was talking to Rachel, our GM, earlier, and she was talking about the spend at the event is our biggest spend. There's going to be giveaways. Our events packs will be very different to what we've seen in the past. There'll be limited options. There will be some points promotions to be able to qualify for that Orlando trip. So I won't go into too much detail on what that will all be. That'll be announced at the event, but the event packs will be incredible and highly lucrative for people to go there. Also, for those that have qualified at Sapphire level, this event will have our Sapphire dinner as normal. It will be a glitz and glamour event, black tie style event at the on the Saturday night, which will be an event not to be missed. I know everyone out there is getting their outfits ready because we're getting very close to that event now. Also, we've got some incredible corporate executives coming out there. So if you're newer to the business or you need to upskill yourself in learning the products a little bit better, Dr. Amzalog, who's an amazing speaker, he's got incredible experience in the field of product and, most importantly, product education. In all my time in this industry, I haven't come across a doctor that can really make science sound simple. So if you're here, you're new, make sure that you're able to come and see Dr. Amzalog explain the science behind our incredible, unique product line, but also a new blue chip executive that's just come into the company, whose name is Dennis Windsor, and his work as our Chief Development Officer. We've been lucky enough to score him to come all the way out to Australia. He's specialising in this field development, this leadership training. He's got over 30 years experience in field development as a distributor, also corporate executive. So he's got a lot of knowledge and wisdom that he'll be able to share, and his sole role with the company is about training and developing leadership in the field. So we're very lucky to have him come out and share his wisdom and vision for the company. And, I always talk about this event here. It is our biggest event. So if you haven't booked your tickets yet, do anything you can possible to turn up to the event. If you're really building a business and you miss this event, you've missed a huge, huge opportunity to take your business forward in this 2016 year. We always see the leaders that go to this national convention, they really are the ones that turbocharge moving forward with their business, and also by being able to secure one of these limited event packs, you can actually turbocharge your ability to win a free trip to our Orlando convention. So it's a must attend event for anyone building the business. Even if you've got someone that's on the fence or just getting started, what a perfect time to launch your business by going there and seeing the vision, seeing the heart, seeing the field leaders but at the event presenting and talking about and sharing the Jeunesse stories. So this event here will be a critical part of people's businesses in 2016. And also remember, we have our university coming up in August. So it's a really good, stepped event program where we go from Gold Coast in May, moving on and promoting and working hard towards our university in August, and then moving on again from that event there to our international convention. So if you're a leader in the business, you're building the business, these are the three pillars of the rest of your 2016, what you're trying to work towards. When I talk about event promotion, it's not just yourself being there, but it's also seeing other leaders in your team get there. I always talk about my first mentor in the industry told me he went to his first, and he was talking about international convention at the time, and he only had a small team of about 10 people that attended there. But because he had 10 people that there, 6 people saw enough in it to go to that full-time level income, not up to the highest level. So we're just talking about a simple Sapphire Elite style level. But because he had 6 people there building the business at that level, it was able to help him turbocharge into that life-changing level. And I've never forgot that message, and that's been my number one strategy for my entire business promotion and growth since I've been in the industry. So I hope you take that on board, the importance of what this Gold Coast convention actually means, and also going forward into the university. So promoting from event to event to event. And don't forget, we have our mini events throughout Australia. So next week, I'll be heading to Perth to run the event there. Again, get as many people there as you possibly can. Heading to Adelaide to run the event there, then off to the Gold Coast on the Thursday night to support with the event there before convention. So we've got these mini events happening, and then we've got our the ultimate overlays, our webinar program, and our team Zoom calls, etc. So we've got a really important event system to help people invite their guests to check out the opportunity by an experienced leader. It's important to get that event promoted by or the opportunity promoted by an experienced field leader. So it's really important. And as just going back there, as I was talking about that international convention in Orlando, so I believe that last year I think Singapore, I think we had around 400 from the Australian Jeunesse family there. So would like to see people plan to get there. It's a long way to go all the way to Orlando, but it will be an incredible event, and I believe this year could even be the last year that the company has a group international event. We're getting that big now that we are going to have to regionalize it. The China Jeunesse universities, so just Greater China alone, fill the Cotai Arena, which is 15,000 people. So that's just one country can create their own full stadium. So Jeunesse is now at a point where they're nearly having to break it up into regions. So today's presentation is really about touching on this whole event culture and strategy to building your business. Also recapping the Mediterranean cruise. So what I'm going to do now is open up for people to type in some questions to answer, because it's as far as a shorter training today, but because of the timing, it was very important. And it's not too late to secure those tickets, and we really want to fill up our Gold Coast event next week. We're looking for 1,000 to 2,000 people there, so we've still got a lot of work to do to fill the entire room, but I really want to make sure that everyone's working to the last second to be able to get as many people there as possible. So I'm just going to turn off the recording, and if anyone wants to type in a question about anything that's happening at the moment, I'll be happy to answer those questions. So just give me 1 minute and stay on the line.